Growing up in America, I always had these dreams of being able to help people like a superhero in some, magical way. Whether that's carrying a cooler for grandma up the stairs from the beach to the cliffs, or whether that's giving someone $1 on the side of the street that really, really needed it to get home or to get food that day. And as you get older, you realize how much more you're capable of. And to some extent, that's scary. To some extent, all I want to do is help the grandma with the cooler, and all I want to do is give $1 at a time. But then there's a piece of me that wants to be able to do more, that wants to contribute more if it doesn't harm myself, if my happiness is retained. And so when I got a message from Rebekah Uccellini asking me to go help Ben Croft lead this big organization's event in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, that was going to help a lot of people contribute in this same way with a skill set that they have, which was coaching, to all of the largest NGOs within Ethiopia that could potentially spread to other continents in the world, but especially around Africa. I went to Ethiopia and I got to put together this incredible 12 to 13 minute vlogumentary, if you will, about the entire project so that in the future we can do more and more of them. And now we don't have to just talk about it as an idea. Now there's something concrete that you can see how it's a beautiful way to contribute to NGOs and to the forwarding of all of humanity with a skill set like coaching. Check it out.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is actually the launch event for our NGO, EthicalCoach. In these chairs right now, we've got 250 or so NGOs. They are looking after, between them, I believe it's over 8 million children and families. And they're not just like any old families and children. These are like often some of the most in-need families of Ethiopia. 8 million of them, 8% just in this room here.
What needs to be done? On the issue of poverty, rich country, a lot of resources, great opportunities, but yet you see there's a big population that is really struggling, that is really suffering. And at times you get overwhelmed because you don't even know where to start or what to do.
I've worked in the nonprofit sector for my entire adult life, and one of the things I started finding was as I began to merge into the world of transformational development, I started meeting different entrepreneurs around the world and realized they sort of had this secret code among them, this commonality of success, and every one of them had coaches, and I knew nothing about coaching.
Coaching is the ability to transform people to levels they never thought they were capable of getting to.
Why don't the nonprofits in the world have access to coaching like this? Why is it just the top CEOs and Fortune 500 companies? And what would this world actually look like if it was the people that were dealing with issues like clean water for all, and ending hunger, and education, and basic human rights? How much different would this world look if those kind of people end up having the same kind of level of coaching?
We're actually visiting 10 NGOs today, 2 that are 500 kilometers away in Mekelle, and we've got 8 that are happening here in Addis. So we're trying to coordinate 10 drivers, 10 people, 10 NGOs, and so far we've got, this morning, 4 out of 5 confirmed, and we're waiting on 1 more.
So we're going to Wema in the morning, and then we're going to Union of Uweka in the afternoon.
We actually spent a full year together just doing research and development and starting to get to know Ethiopia better and be able to look at what was already in place here. And what emerged from that was actually that there wasn't a current coaching network at all. And even the conversation around what is coaching, that was very unfamiliar. We realized that if we were going to be able to make any sort of long-term sustainability, we really needed to make sure that there was some local support that was happening here. We had more than 30 different individuals that stepped forward and said they would love to receive training like this. And so we molded over and figured out how could we make that happen. Professor David Clutterbuck stood up and said, I'll do it. I'll do 6 months of training. They've now become accredited. They're incredible. And then from that group of 30, we have selected 10 of them that are going to be getting partnered up with our international coach team. These are coaches that have coached people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and they're going to be working together for an entire year with nonprofits.
Everybody's been working ridiculous hours. We were up last night till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then up again at 6, 7 o'clock, and we've been doing that for a while. And most of our team are volunteers, and so today's just been amazing. We're very close to the summit. Everything's in place now. We've got an amazing team, but it's a little bit scary.
So today we're actually meeting all the international coaches, the team, and the local coaches as well.
Coaching in Ethiopia, even though they coach the world's best long-distance runners, but coaching in the business sense for business leaders, let alone NGO leaders, virtually unheard of. Some of the international NGOs starting to introduce it, but there's real lack of understanding in the sector as to what the potential of coaching really is. So part of the reason for having a summit was to market the benefit of coaching, so that when people asked for a coach, it wasn't seen as, oh, you need remedial training, do you? But rather more that this was about performance, that this was coming up to the next level.
So what we're looking to achieve with the local coaches is firstly to give them the skills and the confidence to be able to go and work both individually with leaders and with the leaders' teams. And that will build performance in the teams, because we're focusing on things that have to actually make those teams better, but it will also build capability and capacity. So the ability to perform in the future, which is what it's really all about. And so it's about helping the teams to coach themselves. You know, when the critical thing is the coach is not there to create dependency. They actually need to walk away at the end, leaving the team able to coach itself better and manage its own performance much more effectively. So it's creating enough examples of the impact that this can have that will gradually create, I was going to say a tsunami. A tsunami may be not a good thing, but certainly a great rush of energy, a wave of change for the organisations in this country.
And then a year and a half ago, I was looking at, okay, I needed to be a country that has enough infrastructure and development that it can benefit really from coaching, because it does require a certain level, and leadership structures. I also wanted somewhere that was stable enough and that was supporting areas around it that weren't stable. So it had the ability to be an anchor for the surrounding areas. And so if we really help develop the coaching culture here, they'd be able to then support the neighbouring countries.
Yesterday we spent the day with leaders on an individual basis, so they had a chance to look at what helps them to be more successful leaders as individuals. Today, 40 of those teams, or 40 of those leaders, come back with their executive teams. So today is a team-centered day.
Institutions are supposed to be created by their citizens.
They are drawing in a picture where they want their team, how they want their team to be operating in 12 months' time.
This is where it all comes together, and I can't even tell you how mind blown I am by what is going on out there.
What are you doing to them, Dewey?
We're doing Who's the Coach, an exercise to energize the group after lunch. It's awesome.
There's a lady who has a charity that basically looks after women who, when they get pregnant, in this part of the area, the thing is to send them into the jungle until they've had a baby. And when she had the baby and everything's fine, you can then come back into the community. And her charity looks after these organisations. There's this other lady that she'd been wanting to connect with that has this critical piece to her puzzle, and they finally bumped into each other and met each other. Hopefully that piece will mean that more of these ladies will get access to the help that they need and the support they need.
I was expecting that it's going to be like a simple meeting or a kind of conference, but it was really interactive.
It was perfect, I can say. It's about beyond my expectation.
It was an amazing day. We had an adult learning session. It was not boring. We had so much experiences. We've learned a lot from the different NGOs.
Time is a precious and priceless commodity in terms of resources. And everyone here has actually volunteered their time to be here with us. So in terms of love, it wasn't me, Howard. So in terms of the love, the connection, and the time and commitment you have given to us, I am committed to do that with my team. So thank you all for being an example.
Incredible work that you do. It's what life is all about, what you people do. I swear, I am in honour to be here in front of you, to be in your presence with the things that you do.
EthicalCoach NGO Leadership Summit!
Without Ben's vision, without Ben's stick-to-itness, his persistence in the face of almost overwhelming odds, this would never have happened. So really that story of human ingenuity, that ability to be innovative, and behind that the power of coaching to make it all happen. So the summit is really an epitome of what the culture of this Ethical Coach organization is all about.
Let's work together to go far, not to work alone and go fast.
The principles that we learn from these coaching sessions are principles that we can begin applying personally. When we think of compassion, we try to be compassionate about others. Yes, we have to be compassionate about others, but we have to be compassionate to ourselves first. Helping others so that they solve their own problems is a principle that can be applied at any level.